Be prepared, because something is shifting right now that most people won't recognize until much later. This is not loud energy, it's not chaotic, it's not dramatic. Nothing is exploding, nothing is collapsing overnight. And that's exactly why most people will miss how important this period actually is. But if you're paying attention, you'll notice something very different happening in your life right now. Things are becoming clear in a way they weren't before. Not emotional, not confusing, not overwhelming, just clear. And clarity is a very powerful place to be, because clarity quietly removes the need for excuses, delays, and confusion. Right now, the Saturn Pluto energy shift is not here to create sudden miracles or instant results. It's here to create permanent direction. And those two things are very different. Instant results feel exciting, but permanent direction changes your entire life. And what makes this period so important is that it's not really about what is happening around you. It's about what you are starting to understand. Because when Saturn and Pluto work together, they don't create noise, they create truth. Truth about your direction, truth about your relationships, truth about your work, truth about what is working and what is not working anymore. You may have noticed recently that certain things don't feel the same way they used to. Not because something dramatic happened, not because of a big argument or a big event, but because internally something shifted. Something that used to excite you doesn't excite you the same way anymore. Something that used to bother you doesn't bother you the same way anymore. Something that used to confuse you suddenly makes sense. This is one of the biggest signs of this energy shift. Not emotional reactions, but emotional detachment and mental clarity. You're not reacting the same way. You're not chasing the same things. You're not arguing the same points. You're not trying to prove yourself the same way. And at first, this can feel strange because you might think you're losing motivation or losing interest, but that's not what's happening. What's happening is you are starting to see things for what they really are instead of what you hoped they would be. This energy is not about starting something new immediately. It's about recognizing what you have already started that deserves to be taken seriously now. Many people are always waiting for the perfect moment to begin something, waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for approval, waiting for the right timing. But Saturn does not reward waiting for the perfect moment. Saturn rewards consistency, discipline, and things that are built slowly over time. And Pluto does not bring attention to what is obvious. Pluto brings attention to what has been hidden, ignored, or pushed aside. So, when these two energies work together, something very specific happens. The things you have been quietly building, the things you didn't tell everyone about, the things you worked on when nobody was watching, the things you almost gave up on because progress was slow, those are the things that start to matter now. This is why this period is not about speed, it's about direction. And there is a very big difference between moving fast and moving in the right direction. Many people move fast but keep ending up in the same place because they are moving fast without clarity. But when you move with clarity, even slow movement changes your life completely. And this is the biggest message of this energy shift. Slow decisions made with clarity are more powerful than fast decisions made with emotion, because emotional decisions often feel right in the moment but create problems later. Clear decisions might feel slow or uncomfortable in the moment, but they create stability later. You may also notice during this period that some things in your life are not ending dramatically, they are ending quietly. This is very important to understand. Not all endings come with fights, arguments, or big announcements. Some endings happen when you simply stop caring the same way. You stop checking, you stop reacting, you stop explaining, you stop trying to fix something that doesn't want to be fixed. And the moment you stop feeding something with your time, your energy, and your attention, it slowly disappears from your life without a big scene. And this can be confusing because people are used to dramatic endings, but the most permanent endings are often the quiet ones. The moment something loses its emotional grip on you is usually the moment it's already over, even if nothing external has changed yet. Another thing this energy shift is doing is changing your relationship with power. Most people think power means being loud, being visible, reacting quickly, proving a point, winning arguments, showing results immediately, or getting attention. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you. But real power is much quieter than that. Real power is choosing what you respond to and what you ignore. Real power is emotional control. Real power is not explaining yourself to everyone. Real power is making decisions that don't need approval. Real power is walking away from things that no longer match your direction without needing everyone to understand why. And during this period, many people are starting to realize that they don't need to react to everything anymore. They don't need to answer every message, attend every argument, chase every opportunity, or explain every decision. And this changes everything because your life is not controlled by what happens to you. It is controlled by what you give your attention to. Attention is one of the most powerful things you have. Whatever you give attention to grows. Whatever you stop giving attention to fades. And during this energy shift, you may find yourself naturally giving attention to different things than before. Maybe more attention to your work, your health, your future, your skills, your stability, your long-term plans. And less attention to drama, arguments, distractions, people who only show up when they need something, and situations that never really moved forward. This is not you becoming cold or distant. This is you becoming focused. There is also something very important about decisions during this period. Decisions made now tend to last longer than decisions made during emotional periods. Because, right now, decisions are being made from clarity instead of pressure. And there is a huge difference between making a decision to escape a situation and making a decision to move toward a better direction. Many people make decisions just to escape discomfort, and later they realize they moved into another problem. But when you make decisions from clarity, you don't feel rushed, you don't feel pressured, and you don't feel like you need to justify the decision to everyone. The decision feels calm. And calm decisions are usually strong decisions. This is why this period is not asking you to rush into big changes. It is asking you to pay attention to what has already become clear. Because once something becomes clear, you cannot unsee it. You can ignore it for a while, you can delay action for a while, but the clarity does not go away. It just sits in the background, quietly changing how you see everything. And eventually, you start making different decisions because you see different outcomes ahead of you. You start choosing long-term stability over short-term excitement. You start choosing peace over drama. You start choosing progress over comfort. You start choosing direction over distraction. And what most people don't realize is that life usually changes not because of one big dramatic moment, but because of one clear decision that changed the direction of everything that came after it. One decision about where to work. One decision about who to spend time with. One decision about where to live. One decision about what to focus on. One decision about what to stop doing. Life doesn't change in one day, but one decision can change the direction of every day that comes after it. And this is the kind of energy we are in right now. Direction energy, not chaos energy. Long-term energy, not short-term excitement. Quiet power, not loud attention. So if things feel slower right now, that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It often means something more permanent is being built. If things feel clearer right now, that's not random. If you feel less emotional about certain things, that's not random. If you feel more focused on your future than your past, that's not random. If certain people or situations don't hold your attention the same way anymore, that's not random. These are all signs that your direction is changing, even if your environment still looks the same for now. And this is very important to understand. External change often happens after internal change, not before. First, you think differently. Then, you decide differently. Then, you act differently. Then, your life becomes different. But most people are waiting for life to change first so they can change their thinking, and that's why they stay stuck. But during this period, the change is happening internally first. The clarity comes first, the decision comes second, the action comes third, the result comes later. But by the time the result shows up, the real change already happened a long time ago when you made a clear decision. So, during this Saturn Pluto energy shift, don't focus too much on what is happening outside. Focus on what is becoming clear inside your mind. Pay attention to what no longer feels right. Pay attention to what keeps coming back into your thoughts. Pay attention to what you are starting to take seriously. Pay attention to what you are slowly walking away from without a big announcement. Pay attention to where your attention is going now compared to 6 months ago, because that will tell you everything about where your life is heading next. This period is not here to rush you, it is here to position you. And positioning is more important than speed, because when you are in the right position, progress becomes easier. When you are in the wrong position, everything feels like a struggle. So don't rush, don't panic. Don't feel like you have to make a dramatic move immediately. Just be honest with yourself about what has become clear, what is no longer working, what deserves more of your attention, and what no longer deserves your energy. Because in the end, life doesn't change because of one loud moment. Life changes because of quiet decisions that you stick to, and this energy right now is all about quiet decisions that create loud results later. So, move slowly, move clearly, move honestly, and don't underestimate how much your life can change just because you finally made one clear decision that you were avoiding for a long time. What makes this period different from other times in your life is not that opportunities suddenly appear everywhere or that everything becomes easy overnight. What makes this period different is that you start seeing consequences more clearly. You start seeing where certain paths lead before you even walk down them. And this changes the way you make decisions. Before, you might have chosen based on excitement, fear, pressure, or what other people expected from you. But now, decisions start coming from a different place. They come from understanding. And decisions made from understanding usually don't need to be corrected later. Many people think life changes when something new begins, but very often life changes when something old finally ends. And endings don't always look like endings in the moment. Sometimes endings look like losing interest. Sometimes endings look like silence. Sometimes endings look like you simply not going back anymore. No big announcement, no dramatic speech, no explanation to everyone. You just stop. And when you stop feeding something with attention and energy, it slowly disappears from your life on its own. This is one of the quietest but most powerful ways life changes. You may also notice during this time that your tolerance for certain things becomes very low. Things you used to tolerate, you don't want to tolerate anymore. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel like a waste of time. Situations you used to accept now feel unnecessary. People who only show up when they need something become very obvious. And this is not because you suddenly became rude or impatient. It's because clarity reduces tolerance for things that don't match your direction. When you don't know where you are going, you tolerate almost anything. But when you start seeing your direction clearly, you naturally become more protective of your time, your energy, and your focus. This is also why this period is very connected to boundaries. Not loud boundaries, not angry boundaries, but quiet boundaries. Quiet boundaries are very powerful because they don't require explanation. They are simply decisions about what you allow and what you don't allow in your life anymore. And once you make a boundary decision internally, your behavior changes automatically. You respond less, you explain less, you engage less, you give less energy to things that don't move your life forward. And people may notice that you are different, but they won't always understand why. And that's okay, because not everyone needs to understand your direction. Another important part of this energy shift is responsibility. Saturn is always connected to responsibility and long-term results. Pluto is connected to transformation and truth. So when these two energies work together, they don't ask you what you want in the moment, they ask you what kind of life you are actually building. Not what you say you want, but what your daily actions are creating. Because your future is not built by what you say, it is built by what you repeat every day. Small actions repeated for a long time create very big results. And during this period, many people start realizing that their daily habits, their daily environment, and their daily decisions are either building the life they want or building a life they don't want. This realization can feel heavy for some people because it removes the illusion that everything is random. It makes you realize that many things in your life are there not because of luck, but because of patterns. Patterns in thinking, patterns in behavior, patterns in decisions. And the moment you see your patterns clearly, you also see what you need to change if you want a different future. This is why clarity is so powerful, because once you see the pattern, you cannot pretend you didn't see it anymore. During this time, you may also feel less interested in proving yourself to people. This is a very big shift that happens when someone starts focusing on long-term direction instead of short-term validation. When you are focused on validation, you want people to see what you are doing, appreciate what you are doing, agree with what you are doing. But when you are focused on direction, you don't need everyone to understand immediately. You are willing to work quietly for a long time because you know where you are going. And this is one of the biggest differences between people who move ahead in life and people who stay stuck. One group is focused on being understood right now. The other group is focused on building something that will be obvious later. And this is why quiet periods in life are often the most important periods. Because when nothing dramatic is happening on the outside, a lot is happening on the inside. Thinking is changing, priorities are changing, habits are changing, direction is changing. And when direction changes, results eventually change too. But many people quit during quiet periods because they think nothing is happening. They want fast results, fast recognition, fast progress. But the strongest foundations are built slowly and quietly. So if your life feels quieter right now, more focused, more clear, less emotional, less reactive, that is not a bad sign. That is often a sign that you are entering a building phase instead of a reacting phase. And building phases are not exciting every day, but they are very important because they create stability. And stability gives you options later. When your life is stable, you can take risks. When your life is unstable, every small problem feels like a crisis. So this period is not about excitement. It is about stability, structure, direction, and long-term positioning. And positioning is very important in life, because sometimes success is not about working harder, it is about being in the right place, with the right skills, at the right time. And positioning yourself for that takes time, patience, and clear decisions. And this is exactly the kind of energy we are in right now. Positioning energy, direction energy, foundation energy, quiet transformation energy.